Okie dokie, so jokies. First things first, I would like to apologize for the boinging sound last video. I have no idea what that was. We're trying a new mic to see if it doesn't do that. Anyway, you will have already seen this problem in the table prior to this video, but I wanted to do it out for you in person. I find that's just a little easier, and if you were having trouble figuring out what they were doing, then I can explain that now. So we'll do one of these, and then we'll do another one that you haven't seen before. So, first things first on this one, just like the intro video said, we have to find a common denominator for 3, 2, and 6. Just ignore how terrible that was. Common denominator. Now we're not actually going to create a common denominator just like this lesson has taught you and the lesson before. What we're going to do is we're going to find a common denominator and we're going to multiply all the tops by that number. So what do 3, 2, and 6 all have in common? If you answered 6, you are correct. So if I was factors 3, 2, and 6, the number that they all have in common is 6, right? 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 1 is 6. Ha ha ha, 6. Now, you can also, the fail-proof method of this is to multiply everything together, so 3 times 2 equals 6, times 6 equals 36. You could multiply all the tops by 36. Wouldn't recommend it, that's going to be nasty. But that is foolproof, so if you just take all the bottoms, multiply them together, boom, that will always work. I'm lazy, and I don't like to have to multiply large numbers like that, so I try to find the smallest one possible. So, your choice. I'm going to use 6 because they all have 6 in common. You can use 36 if you would like. So, now that we found a common denominator, which is 6, we're going to multiply everything on top by 6. Only the tops, very important. Because remember when we multiply by a whole number, what we're multiplying by is 6 over 1. So we're just multiplying the bottoms by 1. You don't actually have to write this out. I'm just writing it out for you guys. And if you remember correctly, your multiplication tables, anything times 1 is just itself. So basically, we're just ignore the bottom. I'm going to get a new piece of paper because I've written all over this one. Okay. In case you're wondering, yes, there are snowflakes. It's telling me where to put my paper. Let's get started. So we have 4x over 3 plus 3x over 2 equals 17 over 6. So where we left off was I'm multiplying everything by 6. Okay. So 4 times 6 is 24x over 3, plus 3 times 6 is 18x over 2. 17 times 6, I'm going to need a calculator because I'd like to say I'm a genius. I am not. Okay, 17 times 6 equals 102 over 6. Boom shakalaka. Put that there. Okay, now that I've got this all done, the next thing we need to do is we need to divide. So I'm going to divide each and every one of these. So remember, I talked about this before, but it may not have gotten in your head, or maybe you've been missing that day. This line right here most commonly is used for fractions, which is how it's being used right now, but it also means division. Fractions are just division that have not been done yet. That's basically all they are. They're just like a holding, like a stasis. It could be a fraction, it could be division. Nobody knows. Right now it's a fraction, we're going to make it division. So 24 divided by 3. If you can do that in your head, awesome for you. I can. I just want to show you where I'm getting my answers from. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Cool, you can still see it over there. So let's use purple. 8x plus 18 divided by 2 should be an easy one. But if it's not, it is 9x equals 102 divided by 6, which happens to come out to be 17. Now, at the end of this video, I will teach you a nice little trick on how to do this a little bit faster. You don't have to look it though. If you want to know it, feel free to. I will warn you beforehand. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Just keep using purple. So the next thing we're going to do is we can now solve. So we're going to go down our line. Do I need to distribute? Nope, there are no parentheses, so no distribution needs to be done. Do I need to simplify? 100%. I have 2 sets of x's. I have 8 x's and 9 x's, so if I add those together, I should have 17 x's. Which leaves me with 17x equals 17x. Our very last step is to sort always, which means that we're going to divide by the number of x's. I have 17 x's, so I'm going to divide both things times by 17. Those are dead, and they leave me with just 1 x. 17 divided by 17, you should know this one, anything divided by itself is 1. Hallelujah. We finished. Okay. We're going to do one more like this, and I'm going to use my trick on it. If this makes sense to you, I'd stick around for the trick. If this doesn't make sense for you, I'd stick around for one more problem. Personally, it's just my personal belief.
Okay, so here is our new problem. We are going to solve this one very similar to the way we did the last one. So first things first, we have to find a common denominator. Again, we do not make the bottoms the common denominator. We're going to multiply everything on the top by the common denominator. Okay, so 4, 3, and 6. What do all of those have in common? I'll let you decide in the Nearpod question. Okay. So, hopefully, you told me that 4, 3, and 6 all have 12 in common, because 12 divided by 4 is 3, 12 divided by 3 is 4, 12 divided by 6 is 2. So all 3 of these numbers go into 12 evenly, which is what I'm looking for when I ask you, what do they have in common? 12. Now again, you can just multiply all these together and this will work just the same. You're just going to be dealing with really big numbers. So if you are friends with your calculator, go for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything on top by 12. Multiply by 12. Sorry, I've been stuck in this room for a long time. Okay, so 2 times 12 is 24x over 4. And that happens twice. That's kind of cool. And then 5 times 12, if you don't know this one, we will use the handy dandy calculator. 12 times 5 is 60. I suggest you get good at your 12s. It's going to come in common. It's going to come in handy. Like we talked about, these fraction signs mean division. So now I'm going to divide. Let's do the division in blue. 24 divided by 4 is... 24 divided by 4 is 6x minus 24 divided by 3, which is 8. And then 60 divided by 6 is 10. I just want you to know I can do all of this in my head. I'm doing it in the calculator just so you know where I'm getting my numbers from. Okay, next step is to... Ooh, my trigger paper's crooked. Next step is to solve. So, I don't have parentheses, I don't need to distribute. There is nothing that's all spread out, so I don't need to simplify. So my next step is to isolate. I need to get my x's all by themselves. So the 8's bothering them, so I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Boom. 6x equals 18. I just added 10 and 8 together. The very last step in every single problem is to divide by 6. Divide by 6. These guys die, and I'm left with x equals 18 divided by 6. Again, just so you know where it's coming from, 18 divided by 6 is 3. I would not recommend being reliant on your calculator. It will kill your mental math ability. And like I like to say, your calculator is only as smart as you are. If you don't know what you're doing, neither does your calculator. Okay, the answer is x equals 3. So now for the fun trick. Okay? Here's what we're going to do. 12, if we break it down into its parts, is 3 times 4, correct? And 12, again, 3 times 4. This, if we break it down to its parts, is also 2 times 6. So here's the fun part. If I am basically doing 2x times 3 times 4, I can just cancel my 4's out and only multiply by a 3, right? So now I'll have 6x over, or nothing, I'll just have 6x. Here, I can cancel my 3's out. Now I have to just do 2 times 4, what that ends up being 8. And here, I'll cancel my 6's out, and I have 2 times 5, which equals 10. It's that easy. If we go look back at this one, we can break this down to its parts as well. 2 times 3, 2 times 3. And then these 6's can literally just cancel out. We're left with 17. You're going to get that anyway. Cancel our 2's out. 3 times 3 is 9. Cancel our 3's out. 2 times 4 is 8. That makes the mental math so much easier because there are much less smaller numbers you have to deal with. It's a nice trick. I may have gone too fast for you, so feel free to watch this one over again or ask me a question. I love questions and I love this trick, so ask away. And that's it. Have a great day, everybody.